Here.
Ms. Beckham?
Here.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Here.
Mr. Eby?
He's walking in.
Mr. Davidson?
Here.
The Bellevue Board of Education abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Law. A copy of the law is posted on the wall in our boardroom. Budget summary, Susan Brooks.
Good evening. I'll run through the budget slides here again quickly. This is the copy of the budget notice that was published prior to tonight's meeting. It states a proposed budget for 2025-26 in the general fund of $137,265,112. Totals across all funds proposed is $164,468,002, which is slightly less than prior year. The 25-26 proposed budget has not changed from prior meetings. We're still, what has changed is the proposed local tax receipt amount has been lowered slightly. I'll talk about the valuation in a little while, but that's just a reflection of valuation coming in slightly lower than estimated. Otherwise, there's been no other changes to this budget. Again, no changes. 40% of our income expected from tax receipts. From the state aid and special ed programs are totaling about 48% this year, which is in the right direction. So we'd like to see that increase even further so that we can take less when taxing. Expense budget, again, has not changed since prior presentations. In the general fund, a total budget of $137,265,112. Overall, it's a budget increase from prior year of 2.8%. Expenses, just to remind the board, 86% of our budget is actually salary and benefits. It's the human resource piece. And the way this plays out, really 100% of our budget is for the benefit of students one way or another. Again, our proposed total budget, it's $137,265,112 in the general fund, and across all funds, $164,468,002. That's what we're asking for. And then just this to remind everyone, after today, we will have to present at the county hearing on the 18th. We are within our certified property tax request authority. However, our tax request is $1 million more than the allowable growth percentage we were awarded, and even though we're not asking the board to vote, we still have to attend the county hearing and present to the public. After the county hearing, we're requesting another board meeting to hopefully vote and pass the board and the levy for the year, and then I will file the budget with the state after that. That's all I have for the hearing.
Hearing on proposed 2025-26 budget. Notice of the hearing and the summary of the proposed budget were published in accordance with Nebraska statutes. The proposed budget was developed to meet the needs of 9,500 students. Staffing represents approximately 86% of the current expenditure budget. A copy of the notice of budget hearing and budget summary is attached. Anyone interested in addressing the board regarding the proposed budget is asked to come to the podium, state their name and address, followed by their input. If there is no further input, I declare this hearing closed. Public comment period. Public comment pertaining to items not otherwise on the agenda must be submitted to the secretary of the board 5 days prior to the board meeting. There were no items submitted for the public comment for this meeting. We have a recommendation to adjourn the September 8th, 2025 special budget hearing of the Board of Education. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Eby?
Yes.
Mr. Getz?
Yes.
Ms. Beckham?
Yes.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Yes. Board of Education special hearing to set final tax request agenda. Call to order.
Mr. Getz?
Present.
Ms. Beckham?
Here.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Yes.
Mr. Eby?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Here.
The Bellevue Board of Education abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Law. A copy of the law is posted on the wall of our boardroom. Valuation review, Susan Brooks.
Okay. Okay, so here we have our certified valuation, which is really hard to see. Total school district taxable value is $5,304,779,756. That's about 0.1% less than the estimated, value that we were given and we built the budget on, which is actually about $6 million. So in the grand scheme of the total value, they're pretty close. In the bond, so, compared to last year, this is a 7% increase, in the general fund levy. This is the bond value, which has risen to $4,894,398,345, which is also about $5 million less than our initial estimate. The bond value has grown about 6% since prior year. Okay, so, based on the proposed budget, our proposed levy also has not changed from prior meetings, even though our value is slightly less. We're still proposing to drop the general fund levy, 1.46 cents, down from $1.04 to $1.254. The bond levy would remain flat. The current levy is 12 cents, proposed levy is 12 cents. So overall, the total levy would drop from $1.16 to $1.1454. And this is just a copy of the tax notice that was published for this hearing, which states our operating budget in the general fund and in the bond fund. The total of the two funds is $143,085,896. The proposed property tax request across both funds is $60,268,500. This is a overall 3% increase from prior tax. That's all I have.
Good question. So on the valuation, property valuation, are those set in stone then?
Yes, for the year.
Okay, for calendar.
Well, that's not true. I mean, as far as I know, challenges to valuations, they can take more than a year. They can go over time. So if they made a change, they could ask us to pay money back in the future, but we've never had a big change like that in the general fund. That happened in the building fund during the learning community and all that other kind of messy time, but we usually don't have big changes that cause a negative reaction like that.
But there clearly, if there's any new construction or things like that, that would add to the tax base.
That will go on the rolls for next year.
For next
Yeah, so
Okay,
like
so
this
it's
is,
not a line-
we're not gonna get a whole lot of extra.
Okay. So, This is the money that generally goes to the county treasurer in April,
Mhm.
in August,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So this money would go in 26, because we already got our August money.
Right, we will not get a big tax payment until April. So we'll get a little trickle, we get a little tiny bit every month, but we won't get any big amounts till April.
Great job again this year. I know it's not
Thanks.
fun doing this, but I got one question
Oh.
for you. What was on the, going back to the valuation, what was the valuations last year? Do you remember?
Oh,
Was it quite a bit higher?
No,
So it's about the same.
no, it's lower. Our evaluation grew 7%
Yeah, in our part of the county,
for the district.
the district. What it was, do you remember what it was last year?
Oh, more, 9
Yeah, that's what I
maybe?
thought. So it's, okay.
Yeah, it's slowing down,
Okay, slowing
for
down a
sure.
little bit.
Mhm.
All right, hearing to set final tax request. Notice of the hearing was published in accordance with Nebraska statutes. Proposed property tax request and rate to be used for the 25-26 school year were included in the hearing notice. A copy of the notice is attached. Based on the 2025-26 proposed budget, the Bellevue School District is recommending 1,254 for the general fund levy and 12 cents for the bond fund. This would cause a decrease in the total levy for people living in the Bellevue Public School District to 1.1454. Individuals interested in making comments on the property tax request and rate will be asked to come to the podium, state their name and address, followed by their input. If there's no further input, I declare this hearing closed. Public comment period. Public comment pertaining to items not otherwise on the agenda must be submitted to the Secretary of the Board 5 days prior to the board meeting. There were no items submitted for public comment for this meeting. We have a recommendation to adjourn the September 8th, 2025 special budget hearing of the Board of Education. Is there a motion?
Second.
I'm sorry, the first row. Thank you. Mr. Davidson, will read the second. Ms. Beckham?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Getz?
Yes.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
All right, calling to order the Board of Education meeting for September 8th, 2025.
Mr. Getz?
Yes.
Ms. Beckham?
Yes.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Here.
Mr. Davidson?
Here.
Open Meetings Law. The Bellevue Board of Education abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Law. A copy of the law is posted on the wall of our boardroom. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Special recognition, Dr. Rickman.
Okay, tonight we have Shannon Vogler here from Cognia again. She's been here before, so she has some exciting news to share with us.
I feel like a frequent flyer. I mean, I feel like I've stood before you a number of times, but I just can't help it. You guys are so great. So this is, I remember a lot of you. I was here less than a year ago as part of the team of Cognia that came to do your regional accreditation. And one of the comments I made as a team member was, this is the way it's supposed to be. And what I meant by that is, and I want to look back there because there's people back there that have a big part of this. We really base our accreditation on the active continuous improvement. It's not just checking a box. It isn't just compliance. It's really, how do you measure up to performance standards that are recognized globally in now over 100 countries? And that's a chance to like look at yourself and really evaluate where are we really shining, what are our strengths, but also what's the next thing? How do we get even better and refine the work that we do? So it is my pleasure every year, well, I wouldn't say every year, we can award the Circle of Excellence Award to a school or district who really has stood out to us in the active continuous improvement, where we can tell it's who you are. And so it was my pleasure this year to nominate Bellevue Public Schools for this award. The act of that as the accreditation director is I submit my proposal and all of my reasons, and that's reviewed by our regional vice president and other members of our accreditation services department, and then I get the good news to be able to come and share that with you. So I would like to read the official presentation, and if we can, I'd love to get a picture.
Yes, absolutely.
So Cognia is pleased to present Bellevue Public Schools with the Circle of Excellence Award. As the largest continuous improvement and accreditation organization in the world, we have over 130 years of experience conducting rigorous on-site reviews of educational institutions. Bellevue Public Schools began their commitment to regional accreditation with North Central Association CASI at East High School in 1952, later adding West High School in 1978, and in 2010 they became systems accredited, demonstrating a legacy and commitment to excellence. The The Circle of Excellence Award recognizes institutions who systematically and systemically model a commitment to continuous improvement and demonstrate these values through their day-to-day efforts to improve outcomes for their students. Through their Cognia Engagement Review, which is their regional accreditation review, conducted by an external team, Bellevue Public Schools demonstrated their embedded process of continuous improvement, exceeding the national average in all 7 criteria areas. Regional Accreditation Evaluator Dr. Mary Koopman stated, Bellevue Public Schools demonstrates a strong commitment to continuous improvement. Their data-driven decision-making guides interventions, informs instructional strategies, and supports student and staff well-being. Our team found a thriving culture of learning that promotes inclusivity and well-being that remains adaptable and responsive to the evolving needs of students, staff, and the community. Their core value, engaging the community, was evident across the district through their commitment to transparency and frequent communication channels. Through this intentional focus on the essential elements of continuous improvement, leaders have created and sustained an embedded continuous improvement process within their district. Through the self-assessment process, Bellevue Public Schools successfully identified areas of achievement and improvement at the highest level in the key characteristics of culture of learning, leadership for learning, engagement of learning, and growth in learning. The school's level of quality was evident as they successfully met 27 of the 30 performance standards, with 8 rating at the highest level. This resulted in an Index of Education Quality score of 338, which was 42 points higher than the national average. Cognia recognizes Bellevue Public Schools for their comprehensive, formalized continuous improvement process, which demonstrates their commitment to address the learning needs of all students to support student success with the Circle of Excellence Award. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We just truly value your input, and I just wanted to, our board is just so grateful for Dr. Rippey and his staff. Our staff here at the central office and our building principals work very, very hard to ensure what's best for our students, and so we're glad to know that that's paying off through your recognition.
Absolutely.
I'd like to add what a fine job your team did when you
Yes.
came and
Yes.
talked to us. You got us to talk.
I agree. I agree.
Well, it was a pleasure.
It's not hard to get 9 to talk.
So, board members, if we can come out here and then you can present it and we'll take a picture.
I'm gonna leave this with you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you.
No, I'm not the only one standing in front
Oh,
here.
you are.
No, somebody
We're
get up
here.
here. Come on.
That's actually the board. Ida, you're here too.
All right, board, if you can all take some steps over, go to your left a little bit more. We'll try to get a little center here. There we go. That's perfect. Thank you. Scott, I'm not seeing you, so we're gonna need a little width. There we go. Great job, everyone. Great job. Okay, here we go. Big smiles. Thank you so much.
I can be on the box.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ricky.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda. The information in sections C and F were sent to all members of the Board of Education for review. The administration recommends approval by consent of the items in section C of the agenda identified with an asterisk, and receipt of the information and proposals in section F identified with an asterisk. We have a recommendation to approve the consent items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Oh, nine, second.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Scott.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Eby?
Yes.
Mr. Getz?
Yes.
Ms. Beckham?
Yes.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?
Yes.
Advanced placement report, Dr. Pokorski.
She's out in the hall. Yeah.
Let's move.
right, good evening. I'm Fran Bakorski, I'm the Director of Assessment and Accreditation here, and I am thrilled to be up here to highlight the successes of our high school students as it pertains to last May's advanced placement exams. So a little bit about advanced placement. Advanced placement is not only fulfilling graduation requirements for students, but it is a very rigorous course content that students can potentially earn college credits if they successfully complete the class and pass the test with a qualifying score. A qualifying score is defined as a 3, 4, or 5 on that spring assessment. AP courses are naturally designed to be more challenging than a standard high school content class. The syllabus of the course is pre-approved by College Board to meet the criteria set forth by their standards. And it is statistically shown that students that participate in advanced placement tend to be more prepared for post-secondary decisions, whether it's workforce or college beyond that point, because students have been immersed in research and writing and critical thinking and rigorous content. So looking at, in particular, which tests we administered last May, we had 20 different exams taken in the 2-week period that is set by College Board. College Board always sets the dates in advance, and they are nationally set, so all students in each content area are taking the exam at the same time. It is within 2 weeks window time, so students that enroll in multiple courses are really pushing themselves hard those 2 weeks. There are 3 exams up there that have an asterisk. Those were our 3 largest exam participants. So of those, English literature and composition had 88 students participate in the exam. English language and composition was 116, and world history was 128. So 20 exams were given in that 2-week period for our students. If we look directly at the numbers of our students for high school, we had 431 unique students participating in AP tests. They took a total of 700 exams, and of those 431 students, 338 of them earned at least 1 qualifying score. So a 3, 4, or 5. That's 78% of the students that participated. Looking at the kind of historical here, we got a 3-year snippet, and you can see that 2025 had more students participating and more exams being taken than the year prior. But if you look down below, that's 78% of students that received a qualifying score. That is the largest that we have seen in as long as I have record of AP scores. So a lot to celebrate with our high school students there. As you can see, our score distribution, we're top heavy here, which is a great thing for the percentage of students that had scores of 3, 4, or 5. And then when we look at it by grade level, this is usually pretty accurate from year to year. At that 9th grade level, we only offer 1 AP course, and that is computer science principles. So that one is always going to have our lowest number of participants. But then 10th grade is when they add in that world history class that really piques a lot of interest for kids. And then there are more course options for students in their 11th and 12th grade year. I think I've highlighted the last 4 years, how impressed I am with our seniors. The way that they schedule these exams, it is the students' last week of school for our seniors. And some of them are taking 3, 4, and 5 exams. I mean, they're really finishing strong with us. And you can see that by their percent of exams that were scored proficient by those seniors, 81%. That's incredible. One of the things that College Board does is it recognizes students that have gone above and beyond in their AP quest. So they recognize 111 of our students. Of those 111, 60 of them were recognized as AP scholars. That means that they took a minimum of 3 AP tests in their high school career and successfully completed 3 with an average of 3 or higher. And then we have the scholar with honors, and now we're talking 4 exams. So that's equivalent to 12 college credits for these students, and their average is a 3.25 or higher. And then finally with distinction, now we're at 15 potential credits for students because they have successfully completed 5 AP exams with an average score of 3.5 or higher. So these are kids that are ending their high school career with a lot of credit in the bank. Does anybody have any questions on our May 2025 AP?
I have.
Sure.
Just because I'm not that familiar with it. Is there a cost to the district for offering advanced placement?
There is not a cost to the district. So our teachers submit a syllabus to College Board and it's approved, and they not only adhere to the state standards, but then they have to include the rigor that the College Board sets forth, and they have tons of resources at their disposal to prepare kids for the exam. The cost of the exam is a cost to students, and it's $99. However, with that $99, kids are potentially earning 3 college credits, or they are testing out of an entry-level college course, depending on their course of study. We also have a number of students that participate in dual enrollment. And dual enrollment last year, about 2,100 classes were completed by our high school students in the area of dual enrollment. And depending on the course, that could be a 1-credit course, it could be a 3-credit course. Those classes, if they are taking dual enrollment through Metro, that cost has been covered by Metro this year. And so that was free for students, but if they were doing dual enrollment through UNO, they had a cost of $250. If they took dual enrollment through UNO, UNO often covers the cost of the AP exam, so that $99 exam cost. So very advantageous for our students, because the current cost of the UNO class is like $873.
So if a student's taking English Lit and Comp here, the syllabus might be different than if they're taking it in affiliate, or is there a standard syllabus across all?
College Board has very consistent criteria that they expect. So if they're taking an AP course here in Bellevue, it's going to be very comparable to the same AP course in any other district. And that would be true across the nation.
And then the test would be the same.
Yes, the test is the same. It's offered at the same time nationally. So whether it's a morning test or an afternoon test. College Board has kind of tweaked their assessment a little bit. This year was the first year that they went online with their assessments. They were either hybrid or fully online, so taking the multiple choice and the writing portion online. That might have something to do with part of our increase in scores. We realized that students don't necessarily like to handwrite essays anymore, so having the ability to type it out was probably advantageous for us. But when we look at the national trends, there was not an increase in all scores. There are 4 course areas that saw an increase nationally, and that was English language, physics, psychology, and environmental science. So where our scores were showing huge strides, that was not the trend nationally. So we have a lot to be proud of with our Bellevue kids.
So like, on the AP score, so like a score of a 5 is equivalent to an A?
That,
Is that right?
yeah, that's the highest you can get in an
Okay.
AP. Yes, in AP scores, the multiple choice is scored electronically, and then the free response is hand scored by multiple readers. And so they make sure that they have very comparable grading on the 2, and if it's not, then it's sent to a 3rd reader.
And how do our students get interested or get into an AP class? I mean, is it a teacher recommendation or grades or?
I will tell you that we always want to see our students pushing ourselves, so we do a lot of hand inviting. We also encourage students that have typically taken advanced class to bring along a friend, because we always want to make sure that we're raising the expectation for them, because we know that they will meet our expectations if we provide them with the opportunities of the study sessions and the practice exams, and they love the content. Once they get up into the 11th, 12th grade years, they're picking those electives that they want to study. So that helps as well.
I actually had the same question, and I was a little disappointed that Nina Wolford never recommended me. So, we'll have that one covered. So, I mean, I do have a question, if there's kids that have a need, that have the ability but have a need and can't pay for it, are there scholarships available, or
We
would that be
always
something that we should
find
look
ways
into?
to work with students, yes.
Because I hate to have a kid miss
Yes.
out on it just because they can't
Yes.
afford to pay the $5 test.
Yes.
So,
Yep, and they know that they can go to their counseling office and we can find ways around that.
How's our AP offering compared to maybe some other districts? Is it pretty much the same, or is there room to grow?
So there are a total of 38 approved College Board courses. and we offer 20 consistently. Students can take the exams in courses that we don't necessarily offer, but these courses are pretty commensurate with all Nebraska schools in terms of they align with graduation requirements and fulfill the offerings through College Board. So they're very
So
commensurate.
if someone's dual enrolled, they may not, do they have to take the exam, or can they just?
No, they do not.
So so this is, this is a snapshot against the test, but it's not really a true indication of
How many
overall
are
success
participating?
that are participating to.
That's
benefit
correct.
themselves.
That's correct. We offer dual enrollment credits in is it
Lots of
like
areas.
60 classes. I mean, it's
Yeah.
more than the AP.
It's teacher dependent often, it's connected with some curriculum on the campus. And so if the teacher has the right credentials, then they can offer it, but the student has to sign up for it. And the state has been covering junior colleges like your Metro and all the fees for dual enrollment for the past, I think, 3 years now, 4 years. And so that has really been a big help because we have lots of kids, like Fran said, we had 2,100 enrollments but it could have been higher. Like for instance, in world history, we had not world history, and world languages, we had about 250 dual enrollments, but we have the capacity because our teachers have the credentials, it could have been 700. But sometimes the kids are hesitant just to literally sign their name on the line and say, I want to do this. So one of our things is to continue to encourage kids to get dual enrolled and to sign up for it.
Yep.
Because it doesn't change.
I've always encouraged it. I mean, I've known kids, they knock a whole year off of college.
Absolutely.
Correct.
They want to get out.
Yes.
That's the really
Yes.
big advantage, huge
Yeah.
savings for parents.
Yep, and time savings. Right now, we're actually signing students up for their intent for dual enrollment or AP. Those deadlines are due the end of September. So they make a decision pretty early in the school year. And we just continue to encourage and nurture as the year goes on.
Those are two separate programs. Those are two separate programs.
They are,
Dual
yes.
enrollment
But
and
there is an opportunity for students to be dual enrolled and still take the AP exam. There's a lot of research behind students that are able to handle an AP exam in terms of the content that's assessed and the time test, and the ability to think real critically on the writing portion. So a lot of them will still push themselves because they know that it's really setting them up for the next phase of post-secondary.
But as far as college credits, it doesn't make a difference, right? If you're dual enrolled, you get the credit.
You get it both ways, that's correct.
Yes, and it is contingent on the college.
Okay.
Yep.
But in some situations, a higher score on your AP exam will actually get you more credits at a university, or you can bypass more courses based on your score.
A-level courses.
Have we thought about expanding to include Spanish and some of the Spanish and French, some of those tests?
So those I know that we're offering through dual enrollment, but I don't know that we've had students that have.
No.
Every once in a while, we have a one-off student who wants to try their hand at the exam and they take it. But in terms of having like a whole class of students, we haven't had.
When
We haven't had
we
that
received the
number.
world language grant from DODEA a few years ago, we actually looked at and talked to our world language teachers about starting AP coursework as a part of that grant in world language. There's like 2 world language classes, there's multiple world language AP classes that they can take. And our world language teachers, they were more interested in dual enrollment than in AP at the time, because they wanted to have a little more control over the curriculum, where AP says, this is what you have to teach.
Yeah, I was talking to, and they feel that some building needs to take place before we could do that. But, I was just curious.
Because I would love that, I would like to see us expand
Yeah,
that.
I would too.
Excellent. Well
Thank you.
done. Very good. Valley West Auditorium, Greg Locker.
All right, good evening. The last presentation got me thinking back to my days of high school when I was an AP Scholar or shop class. It just didn't really do the test like we do nowadays. So, I'm here to give you an update on the W West Auditorium. And I'm thinking this might be the last time I actually have to present up here for the bond, which is it's been a long time, so it kind of feels like a breakup almost. So I'll try to get through this. But real quick, in July, I'm gonna kind of step back real quick where we finished in July, about mid to late July is when the administration and all the office staff took over the offices. We still have a few odds and ends punch list, which is basically like a nick here, or there's something that they forgot here, nothing that's major. So that was, at the end of July, they took that over, and that was probably a 2 or 3 week, two week process of getting everybody moved in, finalizing things, realizing the little things you didn't realize throughout the process. Initially, when I came up here, I can't remember when it was, a while back, I came to you guys with the Bellevue West Auditorium should be done about October, end of October. Okay, that's what if I remember correctly, was what we said. Right now, and I'll kind of go through some, the timeline of some events here that are going. Right now, we're looking at a timeline of the very first days of second semester, which would be like January 4th to January 6th, somewhere in there, with the hope that it's going to step back down into December. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give you an idea and some of the things that are going on currently, and then I'm going to kind of show you some pictures, and then I'll answer some questions. This week, right now, I don't know if you've been by Bellevue West. They have pretty much finished all the concrete outside, so it actually looks like you could drive up, right, minus some dirt and that type of stuff. All the sidewalks are, for the most part, are finished. Most all the concrete's been poured. They're working on some of the bathrooms inside, which are the bathrooms to the auditorium. There's also a set of bathrooms down in the basement. If you remember that, one of the very first things we had to do was change some of the plans for the basement. So we had a set of basement bathrooms down there as well. We're doing some electrical rough-ins for the stage area, and there's a lot of drywall going on, mudding and taping and still hanging the drywall. And I'll show you some pictures here in a little bit. When you walk through the front, it's starting to really take shape. They kind of finished these, I don't know what you even call them, but they're almost like hanging lights, but they're all out of drywall and stuff, so it really looks pretty fancy in there. I've had the opportunity, and I'll show you a picture of this too in a little bit, of inside the auditorium is all scaffolding. So above the scaffolding, which you really can't see up there, it's like 30-something feet up above there, is the ceilings all painted black, all the ductwork's done, and all the lights are pretty much hung and tested up top, okay? This week, I think starting Wednesday, they're taking down all the scaffolding, which actually begins the whole sprint to the finish line then. Because the scaffolding is basically what holds everything up. You can't really do a whole lot in there. You can't put seats in there, you can't do anything on the concrete floors, you can't really even get any machinery around there, and it's even kind of hard to walk around. So those are some of the things. There was also working on the drainage ditch. If you've been out there, there's a ditch that we have that runs basically from the school all the way down and runs all the sewer water, not sewer water, but the water from the roofs and that type of sanitary that goes down, out, and basically goes into the Bellevue sewer system. So they're actually working on that this week as we speak. A couple of things that there's a lot of things that can set projects back. I've yet to have a project in, I think, what is this, eight years we've been this, I have yet one of them finish exactly on time. It's just not the nature of the beast in construction. Some of them are a little closer to on time, some are a little further. This one we had some setbacks right out of the gate with a lot of plumbing things that we had to take care of. Then, as you know, this has probably been the wettest of one of the summers we've had in a long time, which we've had a couple of weeks set back throughout the summer, which normally we just don't have any rain. So there's lots of different things that have kind of pushed us back. We also have these they're kind of like clouds that hang below the lights that aren't even able to ship until the last week of September. We wouldn't even get them until October. So you're looking at probably middle to end of October before you can get those pieces installed. So those are some of the things that are going on, some of the reasons where we're at. There's also a very big learning curve that we're going to have to do with Bellevue West. We were hoping to do this in December because it's all brand new audiovisual equipment. It runs completely different. The pit itself is a really kind of a deep pit for the orchestra, and it's all run off a screen, so they kind of see where they have to be timed and when they got to come in and that type of stuff. So there's going to be a learning curve for just the music, the band, all the people that are involved in learning how to run this. So hopefully it's not going to be turnover day one and then we're on to our first production on day two, because it's probably not going to be so pretty. So that's what that's the gist of Bellevue West project. I'll show you some pictures real quick. Do I just click
You
it?
can, just with that.
Okay. Leave it to the technology director not to figure this one out.
Fine.
All right. So this was just some of the pictures I took today. If you haven't seen it, this is basically the entrance, the big Bellevue West Thunderbirds logo up there. Couple more pictures. Those are some planter boxes. They're going to actually have some trees in those and some different landscaping, which is going to be starting the 15th. Landscaping is planned to be starting then, so in the next week you'll start to see some of that stuff done. These are some pictures of the planter boxes. Again, this is that drainage ditch I was telling you about. We found out the hard way that there's much more water that comes off the roofs than anticipated. So we actually had to make some alterations to this ditch to make it so that it slows down the vast amount of water that's coming off the building. This is right when you walk in. So when you walk in those front doors, you have two options right now. You can go straight into the school, or you can go up here and veer to your right, go into the office, or you can take a sharp right and go into the auditorium. This is basically where you can make that decision. Go straight to the right where the tall ceiling is there. That's the direction you're going to go into the auditorium. And right there where that corner block is, right there is the main office where that is where everybody's going to come in. It's not done. This is kind of what it looks like in there. Obviously, we don't have the flooring. We don't have some of the countertops and that type of stuff yet done. They're using it pretty much for construction area just to kind of meet and stuff. This is those lights I was telling you about. So basically, if you decide to come into the building, you just walk straight all the way into the lunchroom. For those of you that have been to West, they were mudding and taping these up there today. I think I got another picture of them. Some of the skylight areas. Those should be wrapped up pretty quick here. This is what it looks like when you get inside. So this is about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 foot up on the scaffolding. But that's the entire area of the inside of the auditorium where seating is. There's scaffolding everywhere. So that you can see, that's got to come down and then it's a sprint to the finish line, right? Now we can get some things done. So it's actually kind of cool, but you would think you can go up there about 25, 30 feet. You wouldn't even know you're up that high because you just can't see anything below it because it's all platform. This is one of their new conference rooms. It's not really new, it's just reshaped. It used to be kind of this really not functional triangle, and now it's kind of a square, so they can utilize that. This is the copy room. Got the copiers and everything in there, new floors. And I don't have a lot of pictures of stuff. I didn't want to bore you with all that. This is kind of just some right next to the entrance from the inside of the building. And then this is, I think, the little store. Yep, selling school stuff out of there. There's going to be a rolling garage door. I think it's a rolling or a lift up. I can't remember what they told me. But that would be being put in there as well. And that is all my pictures. Any questions? Yes.
I do have one. So
Yep.
I'm not surprised it's behind schedule because any construction or remodel I've been involved with has never been on time.
Yeah, when you have one that's on time, let me know.
Or budget. So
Or
that's my
budget, or
question.
budget, yeah.
Are we on budget?
That's a hard one to tell. We would say if you go from the initial bid, which was, I can't remember, we'll say 16 million. Then there was 2 or 3 items that the boards approved, which was another $700,000. And then, remember when I talked about all the things that we have to redo or we had to do, these all come with a cost, okay? I don't have the exact number. My guess is somewhere probably in the ballpark of $400,000 to $600,000 above and beyond, somewhere in there. We won't know until it's pretty much probably the last month. We should be able to, when all your final bills are in, because there's a credit of $55,000 for electrical system, basically electrical panel we didn't have to put in. I also have a contract with electronic contracting, but they're just about wrapped up, so we have a little bit of money there. So all in all, my guess would be $400,000 to $600,000, somewhere in there. Yeah, I can get actual numbers if the board's interested.
And I don't remember from the initial bid, but is there any kind of a penalty if they don't
No.
Complete it.
No, there's a lot of, people, a lot of times will want that, but you're gonna pay for it up front. So if I say it's $5,000 a day past the date that it's supposed to be turned over, well, they're just gonna add that in the front somehow to cushion it, because just as Pat said, everybody knows the project's never gonna go on time. So we've never put it on any of our projects. Maybe down the line, if we do another bond issue someday, or we have some other big projects, it might be something we want to talk about. But we have a tendency, thank goodness for West. I mean, West has been, they've been so easy to work with. Kevin's done a great job up there, and I could tell there's been a couple times I've walked in there, and he really just wanted to scream at me, but he just smiles and goes with it. So,
Just kind of comes with the territory.
yeah, you know, I guess when you're in a big building like that, so I couldn't have picked a better project to finish on as far as this goes, so they were easy to work with.
How many seats is it gonna have once it's completed, like for
I'm just gonna call it 970. It's somewhere right about 980, somewhere right around there. I think it's almost within about 2 to 4 seats of the west, I want to say, or east. Yeah.
Very similar.
It looks pretty cool, but how are they gonna change those lights?
Well, we're gonna have to actually get a lift. I actually purchased a lift this year, not that it'll work for that. It says, I actually purchased 2 different lifts this year. We have one as a boom lift that we might be able to get in there and rig up to the lights. It might require us down the line to rent a lift to get in there to change that. I'm hoping I'm gonna be gone by the time the first light has to be changed. I hope they all go out the day I walk out of here, to be honest with you.
The day after.
The day after I walk out of here. Yeah.
And how big is the current auditorium?
Oh geez, do you know how big? About 385. Okay, so you're 3 times the size roughly.
Are all the other items needed to finish, are they all been procured and ready to go?
Yes, I'm trying to think if there's anything that, the big clouds were the big one. Everything else is, we've probably, all the electrical's roughed in, so it's all basically wiring and your end device hookup. All the audio visual, I do believe, has been taken care of, and then we were working on a big sign just about 2 weeks ago that has a bunch of pictures that they're doing as a background drop. So I think we're pretty good. There's nothing major that would be a showstopper out there that would
All
be
the seating and everything?
seating. Yep, everything. We picked that up probably 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Yep.
Greg, am I looking at the same spot where the school store was?
I think the school store was that way.
Over just a little bit.
It would have been,
But same area.
That would, it's on that same wall, that would.
it would have been closer to this
Yeah,
door if I remember
That
right.
gray wall would have been the old school store.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been counseling offices where the new one is.
Yeah.
In fact, that was one of the counseling offices, we just added a big hole to it.
And then, yeah, to the left is all the counseling offices
Yeah.
now over that way. Yep. Anything else?
Well worth the wait.
All right.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Our condolences on your breakup.
Yes. I love you all.
Public comment period. Public comment pertaining to items and otherwise on the agenda must be submitted to the Secretary of the Board 5 days prior to the meeting. There were no items submitted for public comment for this meeting. Board of Education member reports. Foundation. Is the gala coming up?
Gala's-
Next month?
Go ahead, Mark.
No, you go.
Yeah, just the gala's coming up, and we've brought on some new members that are wanting to, Susan Hester's gonna be joining us again, so she's real big in the classroom dance, so that's good to have her back, and the golf tournament went well, so gala's the next thing, and
East West game is on Thursday, and they're gonna have a
Yes.
presence, and the Alumni Association will have a presence.
yeah,
at East West game.
there's some former athletes, both, that play professionally, that are meet and greet from Bellevue to sign autographs. I think Phil's even going to do sign some autographs.
I think you both are.
Play professionally, huh?
Yeah.
And Nina's signing books. Signing. And maybe, I know that will start, our first meeting is Wednesday, so. All right, future business.
I'm sorry, on the meeting meetings, when do they start talking about the legislative session for next year?
He'll start this
right
week.
in the middle?
He'll start this week. Kind of do a forecasting, and then we'll hear at our November state conference, we'll hear more from Colby. He'll have a session on the
That is-
legislation at that.
That in November.
In November.
Then in January, the one they do in Lincoln, that's when we kind of,
That's after the session starts.
Yeah,
Probably about
so-
a week or.
that's when you can find out what bills.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, we won't really, it's just kind of continuing from what didn't occur, so. September 18th, Sarpy County Property Tax Request Act Joint Public Hearing, Bellevue University. September 22nd, Board of Education Special Meeting, Welcome Center, 4:30. October 6th, Committee on American Civics Meeting, Welcome Center, 6. October 6th, Board of Education Meeting, Welcome Center, 6:30 p.m. We have a recommendation to adjourn the September 8th meeting of the Board of Education. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Eby?
Yes.
Ms. Beckham?
Yes.
Mr. Getz?
Yes.
Mrs. McNamara?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolford?